Hello and welcome back to Oops All Dragons. It's your favorite podcast and mine to talk about nerdy stuff. You can find us all over the internet on Instagram and Twitter and Tumblr and Patreon. And
if you really like us, get us on that Patreon.
Yeah. Get on Patreon so you can get up in our Discord and talk to us directly.
Or just support us. Just support us and so we can do cooler stuff.
Yeah. So that we can spend even more time talking about nerd stuff.
So Lisa can get paid.
Oh, God, wouldn't it be nice so I can get a proper mic?
Get a table.
And a table.
A table to put the mic on.
I have a child to feed now. I have a little cat that, good God, he's so stinky and so hungry all of the time. Please give me $5. Yeah. We've got a guest episode today. We've got friend of the pod and friend of us actually here, Benjamin. To
I'm Varun, by the way.
Why are you saying my name like that?
Benjamin? Is that how?
Benjamin.
That's actually, I guess that's actually the more biblical way of pronouncing it.
Yeah, I was about to say that's very Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Benjamin. Wow, introduce the guest before I introduce myself. You know, I'm just such a polite host in that way.
Yeah.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Varun, if you didn't know already.
I mean, like, if this is your first episode, like, hi, welcome.
Good on you.
I mean, yeah,
Also, Noel's keeping all that stuff from the beginning in.
That's fine. Listen, if you're the kind of person who can, like, jump into a podcast on, like, the most recent episode and feel completely comfortable with that and no part of your brain is yelling at you for doing that,
I've done
congratulations.
I've done that so many times.
Yeah, you're not mentally ill.
Like, if
I can't do that. I don't care if a podcast has 600 episodes out. I'm going back to episode 1.
Okay, if it's a podcast and, like, I've never listened to it before, but their latest episode is something that I want, like a subject I want to listen to, I'm just going to listen to that one. Like, yeah, I've done that so many times, and it usually ends up with, like, me listening to that one episode and no others. What about you? What about you, Ben? Forget talking about what you've been doing. Like, what is your stance on podcasts? Midstream or start from the beginning?
I don't listen to that many podcasts, to be honest. But I guess, you know, ones I do listen to, if it is a specific subject, I will go to that specific one, like you said.
All right. There you go. Just midstream gang, just jumping on it, not having to start at episode 1. Yeah, we're the alphas.
Okay, fine. It depends on the podcast. If it's something where, like, it doesn't matter, then yeah, sure, I'll pick up wherever. But I can't do it. Like, I'll at least go in the backlog, like, a little bit, or, like, if there's seasons.
If I like the episode I listened
to,
then yeah, I'll go back to the beginning and start listening to their stuff, maybe. But yeah, if there's one thing that they're really talking about that I really like, I'm just gonna go to that one.
Yeah. All right, fine. You're stronger than me.
I've done that with Critical Role. You send me episodes, it's just like, oh, I really like this thing. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna listen to it. I have no context, but, like, it sounds cool. Yeah.
Critical Role for me is, like, the only one that I've actually, like, been listening to, like, start to finish.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. Like it was like.
We'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that.
Yes, that is actually going to come back around.
I'll ask that question later. But in the meantime, Varun, what have you been up to? This is, like, our first, like, regular episode in the new year.
Yeah, 2013. So been up to
2013.
Oh, 2023. Fuck. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I
Did
was so excited for a second. I was like, oh my God, the first Avengers movie only just came out. My brain can still produce serotonin. I'm listening to Marina and the Diamonds. I'm on Tumblr.com. I've got a super Hulak blog. I am, like,
that's where my
dabbling in
brain's at.
fashion. Wow, it's 2013, you guys. Get your chevron print shift dresses and your owl necklaces and your mustache tattoos.
2013 was
mustache
very
tattoos
for you.
on the finger.
Yes.
Oh yes. That was that year. Oh shit.
And the LMFAO. No, that's earlier.
So
Wait.
that's where my brain's at. I've been sick the entire beginning of this year. I'm finally getting over it, but yes, you can still tell I'm coughing. It's a pain in the ass. It's not COVID, funny enough. It's just a shit flu. So I'm just gonna be like that, probably all pod. Yes, I'm in 2013. I'm living my best life. I am still in high school. But other than that, other than time traveling, I've been going through my backlog of Switch games that I've gotten on sale and just never played. So I just beat Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 all the way through. It's got like 4 episodes in it, so you beat it once, and there's like 3 more things you gotta beat. Pretty fun. 2D platformer thing, pretty good. Hardcore Mecha, that was another there's another game I'd gotten, which is kind of a arena fighter type of thing. That was pretty good. And now I am doing the Ghostbusters, I think it's just called Ghostbusters, like the game from the 360 PS3 era where they got the original cast back to voice all the characters, and it's basically like that Ghostbusters 3 with the original cast that we never got, set in like 1991, what would have happened, that type of thing. And that's going pretty good, and I'm doing it all so I can delete shit off of my Switch finally to make room for more games.
Hey, yeah, the grand old New Year clean out.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. What about you, Lisa?
I mean, I'm also cleaning up my space in a way. I'm cleaning out my physical space. I finally, do we all have the bin of donations that's been sitting in our car for like a year? Or is that just me?
In the house, and then
in the
I
house,
finally,
in the car, wherever.
Finally
yeah.
got Nova today to just say we're going to Goodwill. That's it.
No, mine's been in my trunk too.
It was busy today. There were a lot of people donating stuff at Goodwill today.
Yeah. I think it's the New Year thing. It's like Year thing. Out with the old, right? Yeah, I have a bunch of clothes that like don't fit me anymore that were just making me sad. Living in my closet as a memory of when there were 5 less inches around my waist, but I'm a whole 26 years old now.
You're ancient.
I'm so old and ancient. I'm decrepit. Whatever. I've got my adult body now. Finally came in the mail. Can't return it. There's no refunds. And yeah, so I just and also just like my style has changed and whatever, blah blah blah. This is not Lisa's personal fashion podcast. Suffice it to say, I finally got rid of a bunch of stuff, a bunch of clutter that had been just sort of like clogging up my vibes for a while. Mm-hmm. Try to get some money to go to like a consignment store. For like a bin full of clothes. They like picked through it, picked out like 8 items, gave me $50. I hate it here, but you know what? Yeah, fine. I took the rest of it to a local thrift store that's not Goodwill, and felt good about it. Mm-hmm.
We actually had local good thrift stores up here that weren't Goodwill, and they all closed down. So Goodwill's the only game left in town.
Yeah, hate to see it. And yeah, I'm like sewing more again. I got a tattoo. I got a cat. Oh. I don't know. This year is doing a lot for me already.
All right.
It's only been 3 weeks. Yeah, I've got like a new job I'm starting. The ball is rolling up.
Yeah.
In the eternal words of Lou Wilson, the ball is rolling up.
You're running up that hill.
I am not making a deal with God. I'm going to fight God.
All right. What about you, Ben? What have you been up to?
Just getting ready for baby number 2.
Yeah. Okay. There's that.
There's that. But no. Getting ready for that. I've been trying to, just like you, I'm trying to get through as much as my backlog before, before he's born.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm really trying to beat. I actually started Death Stranding.
Oh, speaking of babies.
Speaking of babies,
baby walking simulator.
No, yep, that game is Baby Walking Balanced Simulator.
You know what that is? It's working DoorDash during the pandemic simulator.
There's missions. There's missions where you have to deliver a pizza, and you have to make sure the pizza lays horizontally, because if you stack it on your back vertically, the pizza's ruined and you fail the mission. So you're DoorDash.
Wow.
But no, I mean the game's great. I had to stop it before because when the baby cries in that game, it sounds an awful lot like a newborn baby. So when you have a baby, you don't know which is real. So we're playing that. Honestly, other than that, I really just if it's like a free roam game where I can just do whatever I want, I'll do that. Like Red Dead, I still play almost daily, and Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing and all that stuff. That's
I love a good Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing
get
is
it.
so good.
I get it, but honestly, like I've gotten over most free roam games at this point. Like I never got into Animal Crossing. Things like Infamous and that sort of stuff. Like when I beat it, like I'm done. I don't really want to go back to it, even though, like, yeah, I could surf around this whole city with electricity, or I could be Spider-Man or the Hulk or whatever. Like, I don't know.
That's my jam. That's my jam. That's what
when the game doesn't have a point. Like that's what I'm like. I could get Stardew Valley on sale today, but I don't think I like it enough because I played Harvest Moon before in the past, and like it's fine. But then
I'm telling you,
I lose interest after like once or twice of playing it.
Stardew was a game I didn't think I was gonna love, but I absolutely love it. And like the fact that it's made entirely like start to finish by one guy, it's like yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, besides that, yeah, that's all I've been up to.
All right. Cool. So there have been things going on in the D&D world. That episode should already be out by the time this one gets out.
Should have long been out.
But the reason we're here today, the reason we get together all the time is talking about TTRPG. We all play some sort of RPG game with the tables and the tops and the rolling of the dice. So let's jump straight into it. So Ben, I think it probably started with me. Like, what's your experience with D&D, with tabletop, with any of that stuff?
You.
All right. I didn't know if you'd done anything before we actually played.
I mean, a little thing here and there, attempting some tabletops, like pretty much up until before D&D, all I really played was like Catan.
Okay. It's like board games.
And then I think you were with us the one time we tried to play that Game of Thrones board game.
No, I wasn't. I remember hearing about the amazingly complicated Game of Thrones board game.
Yeah.
And I think I read the rules one time. Because I remember seeing the box and I read the rules. I'm like, yeah, this seems complicated, and we just never got into it.
Like the creators of the game on their YouTube channel have a playlist for specific parts of the rules. So to learn the game is easily, I think it's about like an hour or something of just watching videos. Yeah, God. Yeah. But no, I really didn't do much of tabletop, besides Catan and stuff like that. Not really until Varun
got you into it.
Got me into it, yeah.
What was the... I don't remember. What was the first game that we did again?
Our first game was... Oh gosh. It was... I remember my first roll was a natural 20.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I knocked Max's character out to prevent us from being killed.
Yeah, it was just some kind of thing where you guys were just traveling through a forest, and the other guy in the party was going to do something stupid, so you're like, I roll to knock him out. He's rolled a natural 20. Like, all right, cool. Knock him out.
Yeah. I knocked him out to get him to stop, because I think there was like an owl bear that was like stalking us, and I managed... I rolled a natural 20 to knock Max out, and then I rolled something to make the owlbear my friend to leave us alone.
Yeah, like animal handling or something like that.
Yeah, so something like that.
Yeah, so I think that was probably your first play in like something where you could basically do anything. Because yeah, you come from like board games, video games, which have pretty set constraints on what you can and can't do. But you know, I basically let you guys do whatever and just like said, go. This is your character, go.
Once I realized we could do that, that's when I started going crazy with it.
Yep. So we've had Niki on before. We've had other folks that you've played with on previously as well. So some of those campaigns are already known, but we definitely want to get your perspective like on them. So like what is the stuff that you remember most coming out of those games?
I'm assuming certain events have come up in other episodes.
Yeah.
Like Ice
Knife. Ice Knife plus
Knife.
Baby. Yeah, that definitely came out
God.
during Niki's episode.
Yeah.
He was part of that with Noel and Niki.
I was there.
And Caitlin, I think.
Oh god, the Ice Knife Baby incident.
Yeah.
Oh boy. That happened. But then you were but in the main campaign, you were playing Mr. Ukir Panavuk.
Yes.
The half orc paladin?
We made him a full orc.
Full orc paladin.
Yeah, full orc paladin. Ukir Panavuk was my best attempt at Tolkien's orcish for Mr. Pants.
Yeah.
But I don't know how correctly that translates.
Mr. Pants.
Mr. Pants. I think the direct translation is Sir Pants or Lord of Pants, but
But I mean, like, that gives the vibe of like this was an orc who like would wear pants instead of a loincloth, and then everybody else in his tribe would be like, haha, there goes Mr. Pants, derogatory. And he was just like, yeah, I wear pants, and what about it? And then he was just like, this is my name now.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think that was our first like full on campaign where you were playing Ukir and you guys were trying to you were essentially magic police, I think. And you were also trying to figure out what's going on with like this dragon that's like attacking the city and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Varun loves to put dragons in Dungeons and Dragons. Who does he think he is?
And I love dragons, and like it was like, you know, like always in like games and stories and stuff like that. I was like, oh, dragons are awesome. Mm-hmm. So when Varun started putting them in, and I'm sure we'll bring this up later, but the other situation with the dragon.
I was gonna just get right into it of just like,
okay,
yeah, so what happened was you guys find a young dragon, like a wormling or whatever, and it essentially you let it go. I think you specifically just let it go.
Not only let it go, we managed to get it out of a town without killing anyone.
Yeah.
Whoa, big task.
Yeah. Dragon doesn't die. No people die. It was pretty good.
No one got hurt. Like, we managed to get it out of there without hurting anybody.
Your job was to recapture it, but you're like, oh, this guy's giving us the orders like corrupt. We're just gonna let this dragon go. It's like, okay, cool. Dragon gets away. Then many sessions later, the dragon is now an adult. Because its family has been captured by the same corrupt person who's been trying to get you to capture this one. And it's been feeding off of this old magic item thing, artifact essentially, that exudes time magic. So
that one.
So in a very short amount of time, it goes from being like a tiny, medium creature to a literal adult dragon. And it wants the staff. It wants the thing that's giving it this power. It's a blue dragon, by the way. So we're playing with like, is it good? Is it evil? Like it's kind of gray given its situation. And you all go through almost literal hell to get that staff. Like,
is this the one where Niki throws it in the lava?
Yep. That's exactly what happened. So, so like, you have to fight cloud kills. You have to do riddles. You have to deal with like heat and exhaustion. There's like so much stuff going on there, and you guys were literally getting exhausted to the point of just like, exhausting all your resources. And then you guys do it. You do all the stuff within time. You get this time staff. And Niki's character is just like, no, this is too powerful. No one should have this. And she throws it in the lava. And like,
that was the end of the session.
That was the end of the session because I didn't know where to go from there.
I love that girl. God damn.
Like Niki broke the game.
Yeah. So after that, we have essentially a week between, everything's gone to shit because like you have to bring this back to the dragon right there. You're right outside, where it's waiting for you. So yeah, I'm like, how can they get out of oh my god, they're gonna die. This dragon's just gonna kill them all. That's all they have to, oh my god. So I know there was chats going on in between this. So like, what was your mindset after that session?
Our chats were really more, at least with the people I spoke to, the chats were really more about the rules of Dungeons and Dragons, not specifically your rules, but the rules of how the game worked. Because I was trying to figure out the best possible way to get out of it.
Yeah. To live.
Yeah. Pretty much. Because I was like, all of us have like, I think we all had, I don't know, like 1 or 2 points of exhaustion. We had no points left. And I was like, there's only way we can really, if we fight this dragon, like pretty much only maybe like 1 or 2 of us are going to walk away.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were at the point, you were leveled up enough that if you're all fresh, you probably could have taken this dragon.
Yeah, but I remember I think I had maybe 20 hit points left.
Yeah, you guys were beat up at that point.
Yeah.
You'd gone through a lot.
Yeah.
So I know some folks were like, oh my god, I'm gonna kill Niki, and then other folks are just like, how do we get out of this?
Yeah, no, my wife was playing that game with us too, and like we were like talking, we're like, what do we do? I don't even know.
Is that allowed? Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Can we just reverse time and just like
you could have just now?
Oh my god.
I think someone tried to cast a spell or something to get it, and the spell failed. I gave him a roll and it didn't work because I think he counterspelled it or something.
No, Niki didn't count. No, I think if I remember properly, they tried to pull it out of the lava and it was like already gone.
Yeah, I gave them one chance essentially to get it, and they failed the roll to get it, and then so it's just like I gave them everything I could. That's like within the bounds of like what's proper. Like she made the decision, and like we got to live with it. But
yeah, that whole week was like us like researching rules and trying to figure out.
Yeah, I was getting texts all the time of like, so if I did this, I was like, no.
Yeah, I kept on texting you like, what would a possible way be to make it? You're like, you guys got to figure that out.
And
man.
like, I can't tell you. Like, I cannot tell you how to do that because it would not be fair to Niki. It wouldn't be fair to you guys if I told you how to get out of it. So I'm just like, and legitimately, like, I'm thinking like in the world, like, I don't know if there's anything they could do. I don't know if I could even tell them anything if I wanted to.
Oh my god.
And Niki was of the mind that she was just going to sacrifice herself so that she could do the heroic sacrifice and you guys get it. Because she still had some spells. So she's like, I'm just going to like hit it with like the strongest thing I got and you guys take a minute to just run away. And like if she dies because of her actions, like that's fine. But come that next week, that session that happened, that is not what went down. So you guys immediately meet this blue dragon once again, and it's obviously not happy that the thing it sent you on the quest to retrieve it was going to grant you power, and it was going to like give you abilities and stuff to come combat these evil, corrupt politicians and officials in the city, and break their dark magic and all that stuff. It was going to give you all of that as part of the bargain, but now that you don't have the thing that it wants, it's not happy. And Niki tries to do the heroic sacrifice. She tries to like cast a spell, and it just doesn't work because like it's an adult at this point, and it can basically shrug off most of her magic. So then, when did it occur to you to like try and sacrifice yourself to let the rest of the party escape?
I was thinking about that for a while. I just didn't want to tell anybody in the group because I didn't want anybody else to try to do that, because I was trying to think of the best way to make all the players happy. And sort of, the story-wise, it was, Ukir's character and Nick or my character and Nikki's character, where Ukir and True had sort of like a father-daughter sort of bond, sort of like, if we're talking like The Last of Us, sort of like a Joel and Ellie sort of bond, you know what I mean?
I don't think you were like Joel and Ellie, because Joel teaches Ellie how to kill a lot, versus like her character's pretty innocent.
Yeah.
And she kind of stays that way most of the time.
Nikki's character?
Was she playing her Goliath, or was she playing Valmine? I forget.
She was playing her Goliath.
Yeah. So she was like, she's done some stuff, but like...
No, she's done some stuff like seducing construction people or something.
And locking them in rooms.
Unlocking them in rooms just to figure it out later.
Yeah, but she's not like she doesn't... Yeah, but like father-daughter relationship.
Yeah. Like
generally, that's what you guys were. So that came as a surprise to everyone, myself included. Of just like, you're going to like step up to the bat and like say you're going to not die, but essentially retire your character. You're going to go into servitude to this dragon just to let the others get away.
Yeah.
And we made some rolls, and the dragon was just amicable enough to that bargain that he was like, sure, get out of here. Like, I don't want this one that threw away my thing anyway. And like, you seem to be the strongest of the bunch. And we basically retired Ukir at that point from being a PC. And that just kind of like shook the group, because everyone, Niki especially, because she's like, she felt so guilty of just like,
I loved that character, but I'm sure she felt bad, but like I said, it was the kind of thing where, outside the game we're all friends, and that
outside the game
really
we were all
matter.
good, but in game she was just like, no, Dad, no.
Yeah. And I was thinking, it made story-wise for the whole game, it made the most sense.
I've got to say, in all the many games of D&D I've ever played, that is the most heroic sacrifice I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you. And my character didn't even die.
He didn't even die, but he basically became an NPC, now working for a potential baddie. So there was that all going on. He shifted from being a paladin of the gods to a paladin following this dragon as his god. And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. That was like peak D&D. One of the moments I always remember of just like everyone looking around just like in stunned silence when you said you're gonna give yourself up to the dragon.
Yeah, because it was also a sort of thing where, if you remember, like the dragon was only talking to Ukir, really. But that was also because Ukir had a book of how to speak dragon. like dragon to common.
Dragon to common translation guide.
Dragon to common translations. Yeah, pretty much like Dragon for Dummies. And then, like, because I remember there's a thing where I told I had Ukir say the word like trust or something in Draconic, and then Varun had the dragon just like scream back at me in Draconic, and I'm like, I don't understand you, I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But
speaking in its tongue actually got him to listen.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kept on with that campaign for a little longer. You had a new character that came along. Was it
complete opposite?
Complete opposite of honorable fighter Ukir. You went into like crazy uncle mode at that point.
Yeah, pretty much like drunk uncle.
Yeah. And that's the one that went on to become the leader of the Beast People, right?
Yeah, he became the Susan of
the Beast People. So continuing on in the same campaign, the one that Niki talked to us about, Lisa, of her fighting her sister and the dragons and gods and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Concurrently, while that was happening, Ben and his group were essentially vying in a competition for the leadership of the many beast people tribes of the great jungle in this world that I've created. So it's my idea of it was like kind of like Color War. Like they choose their leader through like displays of like their symbology, but also like tasks of intelligence and physical acumen and that sort of stuff. So you guys had to create like a little camp that looked like, your symbol or whatever it was. Was it like
a snail?
The brown snails or something.
Brown snails, yeah.
Niki chose it, obviously.
And our group name was.
She was playing two characters. She was playing Valmine in that one, and then she was playing her Goliath in this game. Now being super guilty.
And then what was our group's name? It was.
Was it just the brown snails or something?
No. It was in Spanish, but I can't remember how to say it in Spanish. But we called ourselves the Yummy Brothers.
Yes. Hermanos de sabor or something like that.
Yes, something like that.
So obviously a bit of a lighter tone after a lot of the stuff we had to deal with previously. But yeah,
it definitely was good for us to do the lighter, sort of funny to go funny from serious.
Yeah, but the whole goal of it was for one person in the group, so anyone, to become the leader of these tribes, unite them to go help Niki's group. Because they can actually raise an army because they had the numbers. Niki was bringing some firepower with the gods and everything, but just sheer numbers. They needed your guys' help. So they go through the multiple trials, and the last one is they have to climb a very large tree, literally, thousands of feet tall, and they get to the top, and the person who reaches the top first gets to be the leader. And they all have an opportunity, and they all choose Ben's character. And he's like, "All right, I'll be leader."
The first step is you got to call me Susan.
Yeah, because like the leader essentially has unilateral power on what the beast tribes do. They've won all the trials, they've done all the things. So they're like, "All right, you're our leader. What do you want to be called?" Susan. So he is no longer the emperor of this tribe. No, he's the Susan.
And then I had my little kobold friend follow me around.
Yeah, you just made like
I had
friends.
A pet kobold.
You just made friends. You had a pet kobold. You had a like an owl man who would just like be part of the tree and just like follow you around and just like be your secretary the entire time. That was a whole thing as well. Like what was the main thing I remember from that portion of the campaign was you and I think Caitlin basically becoming Niki's new gay fathers.
Oh my god, yeah, pretty much that's what it was. And like I really like playing games with Caitlin. I think me and Caitlin have like a really good funny dynamic to bounce off of each other with this stuff.
Yeah. That's when Niki met her boyfriend Giraffael.
Oh my god, Giraffael.
Oh my god.
Giraffael just comes up in just standard conversation all the time. Like even when we're not talking about D&D in our friend group, it's just like, how's Raphael doing? I wonder.
Yeah.
But no, like, yeah, with Caitlin and what was Caitlin's character's name?
Was it Roy? No,
I think Roy was the other one.
Was the other game? You were both dwarves, right? You were both
we were both dwarves. Yeah, that's what it was. We were both barbarians. And like we were both our characters were just stupid as rocks.
You were but you had a lot of dad energy, and this is, I think, before you had your child, so it was just like, be careful around that boy.
Yeah, exactly. No, but like, it was like little stuff like that, or there was like that one time where you had our characters drink that made us tell the truth, or whatever, and then just Caitlin and I just kept on drinking and just saying funny things, like my character took a swig and he's like, I dated a giant once. Her name was Aqua blah blah. Just like stuff like that. But yeah, we essentially became True's new dads, and True didn't like it, and
God, Dad, you're cramping my style.
And like we were like, well, I think we like walked up to Raphael and like started like embarrassing True. I was just like,
my boy, True. What are your intentions?
Yeah, exactly. We had to talk with Raphael.
Yeah, so what was your character's name in that one again? Sorry.
That was Durgal Stoneborn.
Right, Durgal, an actual like dwarf name.
Yes, yeah.
And Durgal becomes the leader of the Beast People. His whole thing was inventing crazy weapons.
Yes, and I hope you used some of them, because you had me come up with some for you.
Yeah, that was your whole backstory of just like, how did that come up? Because like dwarves are always into building stuff, but your character was like building stuff that didn't seem particularly useful and seemed like a waste of resources. So we did a flashback with that, and
God,
we had to play through your disappointed father and like being disappointed in the things that you'd built.
And I made like an awesome weapon too, and you're like, okay, throw it in the lava.
I mean, disappointed dad. Like, no, it's not a strong sword or a good shield or something like that. But after you've gained your empire, essentially, you turn all of their building capabilities into building all of the weapons you'd ever wanted to build. And some of those were,
oh God, I can pull it up if you want.
Give us some of the ideas. The one I remember is a sword that shoots snakes.
Yes. Yeah. No. Not a sword that shoots snakes. It's like, okay, imagine Wolverine's claws.
Right.
But instead of claws, it ejects snakes. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. I also thought of one where it was a siege weapon. So like a door ram for like a castle, like you're trying to ram through a castle, but instead it has what's that creature's name? Is it just the green cube thing?
The gelatinous cube?
Gelatinous cube. So it was a gelatinous cube inside of this siege thing. So when you batter down the door, it would inject a gelatinous cube through it.
Oh my God.
You wouldn't even have to go through the castle. You could just inject the gelatinous cube. Inject the cube to the other side of the door, and you're good.
Oh my
and
God.
then I thought of...
That's
what was that?
Like, you wouldn't even have to... Like, I guess, like, if you have, like, big doors, like, if you have a door that has, like, a keyhole, that's enough for you to get a whole gelatinous cube through it.
You just take the battering ram just right up to the door, and you're just, like, about to bash it in, and you just open the cage.
It's like a reverse...
Boom.
It's like a reverse version of the Ghostbusters backpack, where instead of sucking the slime in, you blow the slime out.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it was a bunch of weapons like that. I even thought of like, my inner kid is like Power Rangers, where they would like combine all the weapons.
Yeah.
I had one where it was like a sword and shield and like staff that would like combine into this like turret to like shoot spears. Like Varun was just like, Varun told me, he was like, you have no limit.
You have just essentially infinite resources. Just go.
Just tell me the weapons you want. And I was like, you got it, bud. And I listed off, I don't know, I had I gave him maybe 20 or 30 different weird...
And I was going to say, and then Lisa, you guys saw that in the campaign that you played toward the end, where you finally released the gods and all of that, when time was frozen. There's that bubble of time, but it was temporary, so you had your timer, so everyone was just frozen, and you saw, a dude punching and snakes coming out of his fist, and you were like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh my god, that's right.
Wait, sorry, what was the weapon?
It's snake gauntlet. Like I used all. Oh,
you had it. Okay.
I used all of them for description when we were going through that, and just a snapshot of this battle that had been joined with all these insane weapons, and you were all just like, "What is this? Where did this come from?"
I'm glad it came up. I'm glad they got used, or at least shown.
They definitely got used. Some people in the party wanted to take them, but they were like stuck in time, so they couldn't. Yeah. They couldn't take them away. And also because I have no idea what the stats on that shit would be. You take 3d6 of snake damage.
Would it be bite?
Piercing and poison, sure.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it beyond that. I just wanted to think
it would be up to me to put some mechanics behind it. I just wanted you for flavoring of just how would you arm your fantasy beast people army? You have no limitations, go.
That was honestly, out of everything I've done, that was probably my highlight moment, just being able just to
go nuts.
Make them go nuts.
Yeah. So in that same vein of being able to make your own stuff, the kind of secondary reason you came on today is because you have an idea. You have an idea for a game that you want to run yourself. The first game you'd ever want to run, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is where that listening to Critical Role is going to kind of potentially come into play, because the idea you had, I think, was really interesting, but apparently it's been done on Critical Role before.
Has it?
So, have you watched any of the one-shots that they do?
No. So pretty much I don't watch it. I listen to it.
Okay.
But any of the one-shots I skip. I only do their main campaign.
So put a pin in that. Describe the idea that you have.
So I don't know how much I want to say if the people are listening, but pretty much what I want to do is, to make it easier, I was going to have it set up in Varun's world, so I don't have to create a world or anything like that. But the group or the party goes to this town, they pretty much did the deed for the king. Let's just say the king or whoever's in charge of the land did the deed. They go to turn in. They have a big feast. Everyone's happy. And all of a sudden, everybody passes out because their food was poisoned. They wake up. The king has a knife in his back, and they don't know who they are, what they are, where they're from, their names, nothing. And they got to figure out who killed the king and why. And it's pretty much just a big whodunit.
So what Varun described to me earlier is that, in theory, you would start the game with your players having blank character sheets.
Yes.
And then as you go along, you help them fill things in as they do stuff.
Yes. So yeah.
So what I would suggest, are you looking for an example of
how to run this exact idea?
Would that be helpful to you? Because I don't want to assume that it's something that you want.
If I skipped an episode of Critical Role that was like that, then yes, I would like to listen to it to get ideas.
So
because I'm kind of lost.
Guess what?
Yeah, one of the one-shots. Or I don't know if it was a one-shot or if it was a two-shot. Either way, it was one of the little side ones that they did many years ago. It was run by Liam O'Brien. He ran a little one-shot, two-shot.
I'm looking it up right now.
I think it's called Liam's Quest Full Circle.
Full Circle.
Liam's Quest Full Circle. That would be the episode that you want to look at, because apparently it's been done before, because everything's been done before.
Yeah. I'm not clever.
The idea you and to be fair, you say that you listen to Critical Role, but you never listen to this one. Like, you just came out of this with thin air, and I'm like, yes. If I could get a bunch of people in the same room, I would know exactly how to run this.
I think this is I think this is the right one. I could be wrong, and you know what? It's a great call to action for people to get in the comments and tell me I'm wrong.
I think that's it.
I'll give it a listen.
I think, and it was a pretty good example. And essentially, it's that. It's you have your blank character sheets, and like if there's any like, I think they had like an envelope. Like every character had an envelope with like little like letters or pictures or little things that would like as the game progresses, like you would tell them, okay, like reach into the folder and take this thing out and read it, that kind of thing.
That's
interesting. Because we've obviously been talking about it to help you plan. So I've been helping you with the world stuff. So we kind of have that set. But I think you need some help. And like I can come up with like a map and a kind of way that I would run it myself, but like I don't think either one of us want to do that. We want it's your game, so you want to run it the way you're going to run it. Yeah,
and I want you to play it, so I don't want you to.
Yeah, if I know it ahead of time, when it's a mystery one, like obviously I'll not metagame if I do know something, but like you want to be creative, like you said. When you got to get crazy with the weapons, like you obviously have a lot of fun with that. So I don't want to like big dog or take that away. And I think you get really creative with an idea like that. It's almost certainly something you have to do in person. Like you can do a version of this online, but I think it'd be a little clunkier. I think the kind of connection and the surprise and of the reveals and whatever wouldn't be as potent than looking at someone, when they realize, who they are or what their stuff is or any of that. I think for like a start, I think give them that blank character sheet with just like the minimum description of what you physically look like, and that's it. And then they have to figure out, okay, who are we? What can we actually do? And what's going on? And how do we, not get fingered for this murder? Yeah. So
because it's two mysteries at once, which is. Who are we, and also what's going on?
And like I was trying to think of it as more like, the reason I was thinking of it is like more like a classic like Agatha Christie novel, like who murdered this person, So and just give it some D&D flair. But
for the murder mystery vibes, do you have like reference material that you're already like, this is kind of like what I'm pulling from?
Sort of. Usually, with stuff like this, for me, when it comes to like making characters or trying to make this story, I always pull from stuff I know. Like all my characters are based off of characters I like in like movies or video games.
You and everybody else, man.
Yeah. And then same with the story. Like I'm not copying it exactly from like an Agatha Christie book, but it's like, oh hey, they discovered this piece of evidence in this book, so I can sort of figure out how to put that in the game.
It gives you a bit of like a guideline for you to like put your own stuff over and rearrange it a little bit and make it your own, but you don't have to make it entirely from scratch.
It's absolutely okay.
It's pancake mix versus fully like having to mix the dry ingredients yourself.
No,
like it's a cake mix box, it's that yellow cake mix box versus like making the cake mix from scratch.
That's the perfect analogy.
Like, and in general with DMing any of these role-playing games where you're coming up with a setting, a campaign, any of that, it's absolutely fine to just steal ideas from other things. Some people might notice them and be like, okay, cool, because you're putting your own, as long as you put your own spin on them and it's not just like a wholesale just one-to-one copy of a thing, people are fine with it. Yeah, so like use a Miss Marple book or a Poirot book as, you know, the template of like, yeah, how do we set the stage? Would you want like a detective type character to be present for this thing as well?
I haven't decided that yet. I know so far with the story is I know the basic, you know, I know I have the basic characters. I know who did it.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to figure out the rest of it.
Is it an NPC? Is it one of us?
You'll find out when I finish it.
Yeah, next time I'm down, we'll do it.
God, I would even say, like, if you want some more, like, content to watch, they also have a great Call of Cthulhu one-shot that's run by Taliesin that, like, there's obviously, like, a whole mystery to unfold in that. It's a little bit more, like, B-plot versus the, like, you know, survive the Eldritch Horror kind of thing. But this is more of, like, a personal thing where it's, like, that's something that I would look at is Call of Cthulhu, Eldritch Horror type stuff, because those usually involve a murder mystery as well, or at least they start out that way, as like there's some sort of subterfuge, something like that going on. But yeah, I would say is that like you have a solid conceit down, and it's not something that is so like far-fetched that like it's not doable, you know? It's something that like
it is a classic trope. It's that
it's
lights.
A pretty classic trope. It's
that lights out murder.
Yeah. And it's also, as far as the like the character mystery part of it, it's like it's actually maybe a little less work than you think it is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it just you're going to have to make up the character sheets for all these people. And hope that they don't hate the characters that you give them. But, like, hopefully the
just give them out at random, and, like, that's fair.
Yeah.
You're being fair.
Yeah, that. I was planning on doing it like that. Yeah, just giving people the random thing.
Yeah, to me, that starts to feel a little board gamey. But
that's fine for, like, a one-shot.
Yeah.
With a, you know, kind of wacky concept. I think that's totally fine.
Yeah. And for me, I was trying to think, like, because part of me doing this, too, is, you know, Varun peer pressuring me as usual.
Good. I'm glad he does it to other people.
Oh, yeah. I do it to everyone.
Exactly. I'm not the only one.
You say you want to do something? All right. We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. I'm going to ask you every single week, hey, what's going on? But I was trying to think of, like... Why do you think
we've gotten to episode 50 of this podcast? It's
there you go.
Varun peer pressuring me.
That's how he does it. That's how Varun gets things done.
It's crazy.
I was just trying to think, because I was like, you know, if I did a game, I don't want to do the classic, you all meet in a tavern.
Hey, you know what? It's a classic. It ain't broke. Don't try to fix it.
You could meet anywhere else.
Exactly.
I personally really enjoy a like Clue style, like you've all received letters to come to this place. You've been invited to this dinner or this party, whatever. I also really love you already have been traveling together, or you all just happen to be part of the same caravan that is going to this place.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of my favorite.
I like that one, yeah. That's essentially the 4th edition starter quest, and I just always use that one for starting campaigns. You're all on the wagon.
You're already on the wagon. You're already traveling. You're already going somewhere.
just get rid of the classic taverns, and if you're talking games with Niki, those taverns get lit on fire,
burnt down in the first session.
Oh my god!
I mean, your party's gonna end up at a tavern eventually anyway. Like,
I mean,
let there be some build up to it.
It's fantasy, so yeah. But yeah, so like you. Like overall, yeah, I think it's a really solid idea. So yeah, apparently I didn't even know. Yeah, it's been done a couple times before. So it was some big shows with some good folks. So yeah, go ahead and listen to those one shots and get some ideas. And then next time we're done, or maybe we could time it next time Lisa comes down in a couple months, I think. And then I, and Niki could be players in this.
Okay,
I think Niki's already said yes as well.
Yeah, Niki's down. my wife is down, depending on, situation with the baby.
Chillins, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I just got to figure out I have the beginning and I have the end. I just got to figure out the middle.
Yeah, so, like, do you want a bunch of encounters, battle encounters? Do you want puzzles? Do you want, actual riddles and stuff that we have to figure out ourselves? Yeah, I think that's the bit where you just have to get that connective tissue between A and B. How do we get there?
Definitely.
So, little side comment, because both of you apparently watch Critical Role. Lisa, we know your feelings on it. We did like a whole damn episode. We've done multiple episodes about it, actually.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about Critical Role anymore.
Well,
I only get 15 seconds at a time.
I was gonna say, like, okay, we have two folks who like Critical Role. It came up organically. You know what? What's your opinion on it, Ben?
Up on Critical Role?
Yeah.
Well, here's the question.
Okay.
How does it affect does it affect how you approach the game?
I don't want this to come out the wrong way. It tells me how to not play the game. Because it's just you can tell they're all best friends. They all have this great dynamic. Matt Mercer has his own way of doing it. That's a great way of doing it. But that's not how the game really is.
Yes. Good. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
When you sit down and play, like, you don't want your DM to try to be like Matt Mercer, because there's this funny video. I think I've sent it to you, Varun, of this guy where he's like, when your DM watches too much Critical Role. And he just like impersonates Matt Mercer the whole time, where he's like, they're in a tavern, and the guy's like, okay, I want to go get a beer. And instead of, the DM being like, okay, that'll cost you 3 silver. Here's your beer. The DM guy goes, it's a very gamey flavor. You've never tasted it before. You know what I mean? Like doing like the Matt Mercer thing. But no, I mean, it's
the smell wafts over the air, and
yeah, exactly. But no, it's a great show, and like I do really enjoy it. But yeah, it shows me how to not try too hard, like, because like I'm not an actor. I'm not a professional voice actor, and I've only played the game. I've only played Dungeons and Dragons for, I don't know, what, 2 maybe 3 years,
yeah.
2 maybe 3 years now, and they've been playing it maybe much longer.
10 years.
A lot.
Yeah, over 10 years. So
is it over 10?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think they started out in like 2010, 2011, something like that. Nope.
Over 10 years.
I'm stopping.
No, you
I mean, it's actually over 10 years, because by the time they started streaming in like 2015, 2016, they had already been playing their home game for like 5 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I remember the first episode of the show was like a few, like they were, it was mid-campaign when they started streaming it.
Yeah.
So...
so you've taken the right lesson away. Like, you set it up at the top. It's a good show, but almost no actual D&D games are going to be like that.
Yeah.
All the ones I've played, yeah.
Yeah, like there's a lot of very specific factors that come together for their game to be like that. And
like you said, they're professional actors getting paid to do this.
They're theater kids doing the most theater kid thing that they can possibly do on the internet.
Get paid to play D&D.
They're playing an improv game.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and they're great at it, and like you can tell they love it, but it shows
it's entertaining,
me. Yeah.
But it's a show. It's a show.
But
and you don't want to try to over like I wouldn't try to. Like I would say, my character Durgal was sort of close to how like Grog would be, but like I wasn't trying to make him like Grog or try to do things that Grog would do.
Some people straight up do that when they play D&D. They just wholesale rip off Critical Role characters, and it's just like, oh, cringe.
Yeah, I have at least 2 characters in my back pocket that I had like made a long time ago, and then like a few months later or even years later, a character pops up, either like an NPC or one of the player characters pops up on Critical Role that is like very close to that character, and I'm like, I can never play this character now because people are going to assume that I'm just trying to rip off someone's character.
You gotta go after them for IP infringement. You know, this is yours. This came out of your brain.
Critical Role did help my wife get into D&D though, because like she didn't, you know, because her character was the bard.
Yeah, Yinny,
and like she had a bard, and she liked Scanlan because you know during the whole 2020 thing, like we would watch. That's when we were watching.
That's where she
Role.
got the singing thing from.
Yeah, so she didn't have a Scanlan character, but when she cast spells, she would sing about the spells like Scanlan does.
She would sing like 80s songs or whatever it was into the spells. That's where she got that from.
So, you know, it definitely did. I feel, the show, especially during 2020, I think it really did.
I think that's an acceptable level of like copy where you're not wholesale copying the character, but you're thinking like, oh, that's like a fun thing I could do with a game. Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing is that like there is merit in like watching the show and going, oh, I never thought of like approaching that kind of scenario like that.
I've absolutely
or I never
stolen stuff
like,
Mercer's done.
Yes!
Yeah.
Oh
DM ruling wise.
Or like what I sent you with the single episode that I sent you where it was like Jester and the witch, where Jester gave the dust of deliciousness to make the witch friend.
That was awesome.
Oh my god, that shit was so sick. And like, yeah, like it's fine to watch like Critical Role and Dimension 20 and NADPOD and Dungeons and Daddies, all of these shows.
You watch a lot of D&D,
and Adventure Zone. I don't watch all of these. I just know about them. Okay. The ones I really mainly watch are Dimension 20 and Critical Role.
I know you watch those McElroys.
Of course, I've watched the McElroys. But like, I haven't listened to any of their recent seasons. Please don't come for me. Don't ask me questions about them.
All right.
But
I was gonna say
it's fine to the point I was trying to get to is like it's fine to watch these shows and just sort of like take points of inspiration, but like not create an expectation that when you get to your table that your DM is going to be Brendan Lee Mulligan. It is going to be Matt Mercer. You can't create the expectation that your game with a bunch of people that you met last week or you literally met today or that you met on like an online forum or your friends who are not actors who have only like played like a one shot that they were drunk for
or never played
or have never played. You can't expect the level of play that you get from playing for a decade and being trained in theater and having the mindset of screenwriters and understand and like having this innate understanding of 3-act structure and character arcs and all of these things from people who don't have that kind of time and training and all this. Like, be prepared that it's gonna be like a slog, you know?
Not a slog, just different.
Yeah. Or I should say, when I say be prepared that it'll be a slog if that is your expectation.
Yeah. If you're like, oh.
But I'm going to shut up because there was literally a 2-hour episode of me talking about this.
I was going to say quickly because it gives you a chance to like talk about, nerd out a little bit, favorite moment from what you've seen. Mine is, that Dust of Deliciousness thing that you sent me. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah, that was, I remember, because like I said, like, I listened to it, I don't watch it, but, like, I had to YouTube it just to watch everyone's reactions of that moment. Like, yeah, my favorite part of the whole show. So, we were talking about earlier, like, this is, like, the only podcast I've ever really listened to all the way through. I'm almost done with Campaign 2. I have maybe 4 episodes left.
Ooh.
But my favorite part was probably there was this thing where they were getting their Moorbounders and Matt Mercer was playing this character, this goblin that had no arms. And he had this insanely funny voice. And there was this part where Sam Riegel's character was also a goblin. And the two of them started speaking Goblin to each other. And as like a trade, Sam Riegel's character gave him this little wooden model of a penis. And the two of them are speaking Goblin to each other. So like nobody knows what they're saying, and they're just going blah 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 blah, and then there's like a little wooden penis comes out. And it's just like the weird interaction of like everybody's like, what's going on? What are they doing?
Oh my god. I mean, Sam Riegel.
I wish I had the video on.
I will.
You can just look at my face of what?
Varun, I'll send you the clip. It's hilarious. It's
sure.
I mean,
it's so good.
There's a couple of really iconic. Like, did you watch all of Vox Machina?
I haven't watched the show. I've listened to the whole campaign. Yes,
that's what I mean by watch.
Yes, yes.
But
I mean,
like,
that's different. The show's different from the thing you said.
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about. It's you've listened to the whole podcast.
Yes,
you haven't gotten around to watching the animated show.
Maybe a couple episodes. Yeah, but
that's fine. Season 2 comes out in a few days.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Watch out for my review.
Our
I will talk
2-hour
review. It's not going to be a 2-hour review this time. You have the primer. Now you understand. I don't need to do. Okay. No,
Pick a moment, Lisa.
Ben, I need you to understand. The reason that, like, when Legend of Vox Machina came out, the show came out, I had to explain to, I'm like, really, my arms were tied. I had to explain to Varun the entire history of Critical Role, how they got to a point where they could make a TV show.
I thought it was going to be a short episode. I was
He
wrong.
thought that I was just gonna explain like the show itself. I'm like, no. You need all of this context of understand like why.
Hold up.
Yeah. So you've gotten the 101, you've gotten the primer. The hardest part is done. Now I can just talk about this next season that's going to come out, and that's going to cover like one of my favorite arcs in fiction. Like I've read a lot of books, but I read books and fantasy and consume fantasy content, and the Chroma Conclave arc of Vox Machina is so delicious. It's
that's going to be season 2. Nice.
Yes, I think it's season 2, and then like if they get season, because I can't imagine how, because it's most of the campaign at the Chroma Conclave arc, so I don't know how they're going to fit it all into one season. If they do it all in one 10-episode season, it's honestly going to be very rushed and not good. But whatever, we're gonna see how that goes. It comes out in like a few days, I think next week. Either way, anyway, some iconic favorite moments of from Vox Machina campaign is the like little character moments are the things that really stick out to me. Is it's later on in the campaign when Vex comes out of the bathtub after Vax comes to talk to Percy.
Oh yeah.
Iconic. Not necessarily like there is the moment where Sam Riegel stopped being annoying to me was when he had Scanlan turn around and be like, "What's my mother's name?" and like throw a hissy fit and leave. That was pretty iconic. I was kind of gagged. That was
yeah.
When he was like, "Fuck you guys, you don't care about me, goodbye." That was crazy.
But he came back.
He comes back.
The meme
but,
man.
But, like, I mean, that's the meme man. And, like, we had a fun little dalliance with Tyrion Darrington. And that was, like, another character that I was like, this guy's annoying. But then by the time his oeuvre was over in the campaign, I was like, wait, I actually like that guy. And then, like, the same thing happened in campaign 2, where I'm like, God damn it, here's Sam Riegel with an annoying little guy again. And then, God damn it, Not the Brave became my favorite character. And I'm like, no, stop it. Stop being so, like, flippant with this game, but also, like, actually... And again, it comes from... Because he is a theater kid, and he is a voice acting director, and he writes for stuff, I believe, too. So he's another person who, like, intrinsically understands character arcs, character beats, the story. He understands story. That's the thing about these people, is that they understand story. They understand and comedy. So, like, he's able to balance being this, like, a very annoying person at the table who, like, barely we're on, again, 10 years of them playing this game together, this same group. And you can tell he only still barely understands the rules of the game.
Yeah. No, very, very often he'll get confused. Yeah.
But God damn it, if he doesn't, like, just all of a sudden, at the 11th hour, when it matters most, he, like, pulls some shit out where it's like, oh no, you're actually pretending to be stupid. You
Like,
actually understand exactly what's going on.
I don't know how much of a spoiler it would be, but like there's that part. It was like they were fighting Vecna in campaign 1 where they were having the last battle, and then
and it was his last spell slot.
Yeah, and it was a like Sam's character Varun. He kept on like inching closer and closer to Vecna, and they had no idea what he was doing, and then Vecna tried doing this, I don't know, some crazy move, and then Sam's like, yeah, I'm gonna counterspell that.
Oh, cool.
And he's like,
it was like a 9th level counterspell because they were level 20 by then.
Power word kill or something like that.
Yeah, it was some insane spell that Vecna was about to pop off, and he was like,
counterspell.
But like he was like counterspell, but it wasn't like a shit-eating grin type of counterspell. It was like it hurt him to cast that counterspell because it was his last 9th level spell slot, and he was going to use it to cast Wish to save his friend Vax from having to, after this battle, be whisked away to be essentially the Raven Queen's personal assistant. Because earlier in the campaign, Vax had made like a deal with the Raven Queen for his sister's life. That like once his quest is over, the Raven Queen could take him. And like they had been trying to figure out how could they break this deal, and it's like, no.
I mean, can even Wish Magic even do something like that?
Right, but I mean, he was gonna try.
Ain't that some shit?
And like, yeah, and like he looked across the table at Liam, who was playing Vax. God damn it, I did it too. That's what they get for naming the twins the same name.
Almost the exact same thing.
Oh, insane. He like looks across the table because like in real life, Sam and Liam are like really like best friends, and he looks across the table at Liam, and he like he just looks so remorseful about having to cast this counter spell, but it was like the only reason that they like won. The only reason they were able to like complete the encounter was because of that last minute counter spell.
Damn.
And it like, ooh. I get a little teary. There's a little wetness in my eye every time.
It's good. It's good.
So I asked for one moment. I got about 10.
Sorry.
No, again, from Lisa specifically.
But it's just again, this is all just to emphasize that these are storytellers.
Yeah.
Capital S, capital T storytellers. First, utilizing the mechanics and the trappings of D&D.
Being traditionally good at D&D, secondary.
Exactly. But it, like, it's the thing that, like... Oh, God, I can't stop myself. It's the thing that, like, because they started playing 5e right when 5e came out, because they had been playing Pathfinder before, and like their play style has influenced 5e and vice versa, because like their play style would not have worked with like 3rd edition, right? It wouldn't have worked with like a previous edition. Their play style
really
and the thing that they like to do, which is storytell, is exactly what 5e it was built to accommodate.
It's not impossible in like 3rd edition or Pathfinder, but it's much harder.
Right. Where that's what I mean. It's just like 5th edition accommodates for that a lot more. Which is all, again, to reiterate and emphasize, don't try to be them. Okay. Enjoy them, consume them, have your faves, stan, whatever, reblog the fan art, all that stuff.
All right.
Don't come to a D&D table and try to be them. Anyways.
I'm putting you back on the leash, Lisa. The Critical Role leash. Back on.
The muzzle.
So
you're infringing on my freedom.
So I think we're pretty much at the end. So the question we always ask folks while we get to the outro here is lessons. So lessons learned, like what would you tell yourself or a new player starting out as a player or a dungeon master or whatever, that you didn't know at the beginning that you know now.
Don't expect a perfect outcome. I would say, because like when I started playing, whether it was your games or Niki's games that she ran, or there was a game that Max ran. It was always, I would always try to get, like video game terms, you'd always try to get the best possible conversation results. Like in a dialogue-based game, you want to select the best options to make sure that you get the best possible outcome. Like I would try to have conversations with people instead of, when you'd say roll initiative, I'd say, okay, can I ask him nicely, like not to fight us?
If it's got to the point where I'm telling you roll initiative, nope.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know that back then, but
you can still try it during the combat. I think you've done that a couple times, but
I successfully did it maybe once.
I think one time you did, yeah.
But yeah, like I would try to do that, but don't expect, don't expect perfect rolls to happen. The fun is in the failure.
Oh, that's such a good way to put it.
The fun of the game is when you fail a roll and you have to figure out what to do after that.
And I assume, just not even in other, like in stories in general, and in Critical Role too, I assume it's like when you see them fail and you're like, oh shit, how are they going to get out of this?
Exactly.
That's like, what we love.
Yeah, like there's something as simple
Sam
as
and
like
Frodo.
It was, yeah, like Sam and Frodo. Or there was like it was one of Niki's games where there was like you were there, everyone. We were at that Weenie Hut Junior dentist.
Her games got real weird.
Yeah, Niki's games are weird. And my character was like a kung fu gnome that wanted to be a dentist, with a southern accent.
I was a lizard man.
Yeah, and you were a lizard man.
Like to
but
eat
like
people.
like it was fun. Like it was like kind of thing where it was like we knew the answer of what we were looking for was in this one specific room, and I walk in and I roll terribly, and Niki, like I rolled like a 1, and Niki's like, you see nothing and now you have a headache or something like that. And it was the kind of thing where it was like I stormed out of the room, and then like you rolled badly too, and like we all just stormed out of the room. We're like, we know the answer's in there. Like, what's going on? But it's like that's where the fun's in the failures, because like we know that, but now we know that we can't figure it out, so we have to figure out something else,
some other way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
start ransacking the dentist's office.
That's exactly what it was, and it was like what they were all shapeshifters or something like that. But
yeah, but no, I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
yeah,
the fun's in the failure. No, that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the advice I got.
Awesome.
Incredible.
For new players. Yeah.
Embrace failure.
Embrace
Definitely.
the failure. All right. So I think we can call that an episode.
We've already done the call to action. You already know about liking, subscribing, sharing, visiting, commenting, visiting all of
Leave
the
us a
different
5-star
websites.
review.
If there is a website where you can go .com/OopsAllDragons, we are probably there.
Patreon.
Probably.
That's the big one.
Patreon's the most important. We have a Tumblr now.
We have a Tumblr now.
There's nothing on it. I'm working on it. It's under construction, but it's there, and you can follow it, so you can see it once I actually have like a theme and stuff for it. But yeah, submit posts. Do that. Do the
Get
whole
us on
thing.
Instagram.
Interact
I'm posting
with
more
us.
stuff on our Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good way to cap it off. So you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oops All Dragons is a group effort. Our show is edited by Noel Hernandez, our theme was composed by Brendan Lyons, and our logo art is by Azif On Q. Links to more of their work and their social media will be in the show notes. Find us on YouTube and Spotify, and check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Oops All Dragons.